Hi, this is Peter Darts, clairvoyant here, and I'm just starting to now sort of start up my shows again after having a bit of a rest and a bit of a break, and a bit analysing what's happened with the sort of shows over the last sort of 1 to 2 years I've been doing them now, and how they've been presented and how I've done them. And I feel like I've learnt some things here now, and I feel like I'm ready to implement a change. And sometimes change has to happen because it puts things right, it makes things better, it sort of improves how things kind of move forward. So I'm making this big, massive change. And I always thought when I was doing the envelope readings, that it was a good thing to sort of give everybody a message. But yeah, I think it was good, but then it caused problems because I'd have to go round to different people, and then it's like people would talk because I'm not focusing on the whole of the audience, just that, individually going around. So I realised that didn't work, and then I got rid of the envelopes and then just dish cards out to people, and it was kind of the same effect really. So I think that the thought was there, the good idea was there to sort of give everybody something, but it doesn't always quite work like that, does it? So I've made this conscious decision to remove them now. I'm not doing them anymore. And I'm also removing the crystal ball. That wasn't so bad, but I just feel so now I just need to channel focus on one way of doing it, and that's the right way. I'm still going to do the seance a little bit, see how that kind of goes moving forward. But yeah, so we're mixing things up, we're changing them. And to be honest, it's kind of how everybody else does it, really. I was just doing it differently. And maybe it's a bit like the old saying goes, isn't it? Why fix something? Why have you got to fix something when it hasn't broken? So I'm making all these changes. Now, do bear in mind with my shows, I say psychic and clairvoyant, and some people think psychic and clairvoyant is like you're still picking up spiritual, because you can go to some shows and they say the psychic messages, whatever, and they bring the spirit through. And sometimes we do work on different links, different ways as mediums. But when I'm drawing to something psychic, it is not spiritual. It could be coming from spirit, don't get me wrong. It's always a possibility, yes. But I'm not bringing anybody through in particular. It's just I'm telling you things about what I feel, what I draw to, and as you're moving forward. So it's just a psychic message. And then obviously after that, I might draw to spirit, or might come to you straight away on a spiritual level. So you do have to bear that in mind. So on psychic level, I'm picking up on things going on around you. It could be to do with family, relationships, career, money, health. It could be many, many things. So that is the difference between psychic and spiritual. And then if I do draw to you in spiritual, then somebody's coming through and they may want to talk about themselves, different things, different connections, places of work, what they pass with. They may give me some dates. Whatever I feel like I draw to, I will pass on. Or whatever I'm being told, should I say, I'll pass on. But then sometimes they'll just want to talk about you. So again, we'll have to see sort of where that kind of goes. But that's how the spiritual side works with me. And sometimes I do get names. But now I feel like in the future, I'm not going to force names. If they don't come, it can sort of sidetrack you and sort of take you off the energy. So if I get a name, I'm going to give it. If I don't, I don't. I'll just describe what I feel, and hopefully you can pinpoint it where it is. Okay, so we'll see where how that unfolds now, moving forward with that a little bit. And, sometimes I get drawn to people, so I pick people out. And I like doing it that way. It's like being direct. But sometimes, it isn't always quite right the way I feel. It's like I can be drawn to this person on the right-hand side, and I could be in the right area, but it could be the person at the back. So I will try and remember now in the future, and this is something I've been taught by, I've been having a few sort of pointers off the spiritual mediums talking about my shows. If I feel like I'm not drawing, I'm going to throw it out to people. Now, I have done in the past, but then certain people just sit there quiet and don't acknowledge it, say it. And then after the end of the show, they'll come up to me and say, oh, that made sense to me. And I'm thinking, well, why don't you say something? Because it's like you know, it sort of takes you off the energy. And then the person you're saying it to, they think, oh no, you're wrong. And then it doesn't make sense. And they look at you a little bit negatively. But if you could have taken the message, you could have changed the whole energy of the room, you know, because then people be sitting there feeling very positive because, you know, real kind of messages are coming in and it's linked to someone, and it just changes the whole energy of the room. Energy is a big difference in spiritualism. So, you know, if you do, just make sense of it. It doesn't matter whether you think it's right or wrong, just acknowledge it, you know, sort of accept it, or just say, I think you might be with me, and we'll try and work it out. And if not, then it's not. But if it is, great, we've got it, we're sorted. And that's what it's all about. So I can do my bit, but you have to do your little bit by acknowledging me. And that would be great if you can do that when you come to one of my shows. And it just makes everything so much easier if you can do that. It would be brilliant. So, yes. So, I think that's basically what I've got to say now. So, I'm quite looking forward now to my show in Wales this weekend. And we'll see how that sort of goes and moves forward. And I've just got to have a little bit more sort of faith in me sometimes, because, you know, it's a little bit daunting sometimes standing in loads of front of people, but I still do it. You know, I always practice what I preach and get out there and do things. But I'm just going to try and bring a calmer energy into it this time, and, you know, and be my positive self. And the more positive you are, that's good. And yeah, so we'll just have to see now what happens and how things move forward and how things go. I'm looking forward to meeting you all again and sort of bringing out a positive energy out there, and hopefully you can take my messages, and that would be so wonderful, so good, so brilliant. So I wish you well, and I wish you all the best, and I look forward to seeing you all in the very near future. So thank you very much for listening to this. Thank you. Bye-bye.